Hello, everyone, and welcome to the All Four Downs podcast, sponsored by this Clovercrest Media. That is a CMG Sports Central. You could definitely check us out on cmgsportscentral.com. And you can follow us on all the football, baseball, and many more sports to come as our website is growing. And thanks to all of you following All Four Downs and the rest of the Clovercrest Media podcast. I myself is Obi-Wan, along with Hector. And there it is. He's looking down, making sure he's calculating right because, man, it is the wild card weekend. And I have to acknowledge that this year's champion for the NFL picks goes to the one and only, the one, Hector V. Hector, congratulations.
Hey, it's always fun, honestly. I'm not going to gloat about this. Over the years, over the decades, we've always had so much fun doing this, and would not have it any other way but doing it with you. Seriously.
I appreciate it, man. We go even way back before podcasts ever began, where we used to have a whole bunch of computers, devices, trying to keep up, refreshing each page just to see what's going on in every game. And we were forced to watch either CBS or Fox Sports or whatever games was there, really, right? Depending where we live. And again, those who don't know, we're former veterans and both New York Giants fans, but we're forced, especially in Denver, I'm forced to watch the Broncos, or living in Georgia, forced to watch the Falcons. I mean, this is before Sunday Ticket. DirecTV wasn't even around. I mean, look, it was just straight up cable. And then look at today, man. You can stream anything, you can watch anything, and everything, all the digital devices, everything's in our hands to catch up of every little detail that goes around in sports.
Yeah, I don't have to go to the library and find an encyclopedia with the stats anymore.
Most definitely, absolutely. I used to have a encyclopedia collection, and you're right. And then the thing is, when it comes to sports, the sports almanac. I mean, we have to find out history on that and research and stuff like that. And now everything's at the palm of your hands just to see everything. But most definitely. But let us start at first down real quick. And no other than we got to acknowledge the college football playoffs. And I guess the committee got it right. And as much as it hurts me to say, I really wanted the Georgia Bulldogs to be in the playoffs, but that didn't happen. But I was saying, due diligence, despite of everything that happened, I have to give mad respect to the Michigan defense because they were the ones that kept Michigan alive throughout the whole entire game. And it did it so well, the tackling and everything. I mean, it just seems like they were playing kill the man with the ball or something. But they put the pounding on them. And even though the final score wasn't really how it was throughout the whole entire game, mad respect to all the Michigan fans out there. They finished at the record of 15-0. Michigan's the new national champions. Congratulations. But it's not over. I mean, many people are still talking about almost similar to the Houston Astros in Major League Baseball about the cheating scandal and stuff like that. Look, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you can get all the signs and everything, but somebody else told me this is that you play the game, you play to win, but at the same time, you always got to change things around, because there's always someone looking. And regardless, I mean, these guys were just a better team. They really were.
They were. They looked like they were the more looser team. They were the ones that going out there having more fun. I feel like Washington just went out there and just they were forcing it. They were trying too hard, and Michigan wasn't doing that.
Well, they were
So
flat
yeah,
on their feet at the beginning. It
yeah,
seems like they weren't really warmed up to the game. And then once they got that rhythm, it was just hard to score on Michigan.
yeah. It was. I mean, to me, I think McCarthy played a better game than Penix did. I mean, he saw where his targets were at, and he was getting the ball there. And Penix, I felt like he was forcing a couple of them here and there, and that's why a couple of turnovers were
Well, he
happening
was
there.
pressured a lot and he missed some open receivers. I
Yeah,
mean, that's one thing that you hardly ever saw in the Pac-12 when they were competing, right? And finding there was always someone in front of him. And there are times the offensive line could not protect Penix at all, right?
yeah.
And that was their downfall, really, is that they were able to contain the quarterback. And JJ McCarthy, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, he's lucky he has the running backs that they have, because again, the first two touchdowns were all rushing touchdowns.
Yeah,
Okay.
to
And
Edwards, yes.
it was
Mhm.
blown defensive coverage. They didn't cover all angles when they scored those two touchdowns. And that was the difference maker, because in the second and third quarter, Michigan could not move that ball. They had so many 3-and-outs. Okay. I'm not a fan of JJ McCarthy. He is not the best quarterback. He is just an average quarterback that was put in a position where there was plenty of talent around him. I don't think he's going to be successful in the NFL. That's just my opinion. I think he just got away with a lot of things, and he could be talented. Don't get me wrong, but if you're gonna tell me if he's a first rounder, absolutely not. I don't even think he's a second round pick in the NFL draft. That I don't see him highly up there. I
Yeah.
think he is overrated, and yeah, he might got the national spotlight, but that's as far as he's gonna go. And he needs more building, more everything else. And the same thing on the other side with the Heisman winner, with Penix. I don't think he's a first round quarterback. After what I saw in that game, right? It almost seems like, dude, you are fragile to get hit, and you're just going to cuddle in the sideline. Okay, that's just my opinion.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, we got what we saw last night. McCarthy was good with what he had last night, so he was on point. But you're right, getting to the next level is going to take a whole lot more, skills and talent, at every level to become a very successful quarterback in the NFL. We've seen it.
Mhm.
A lot of Heisman Trophy winners or first rounders, they never seem to pan. A lot of them don't seem to pan out. It's always those quarterbacks that fall third round to the sixth round.
Right.
Brock Purdy being the latest, success so far as Mr. Irrelevant. So yeah, give them time to build up. But yeah, you're right. I don't see them jumping right into it and being successful in the NFL right away. Maybe
Right.
sit somebody for a year or so. Who knows?
So if there was 12 teams in this playoff this year, I want to show it to you. This is the standings, or the selection committee would have had leading into the college football playoffs, with the top four being Michigan, Texas, Washington, and Alabama, right? And before they even play each other, there will be other games going on. And the question is, and here it is, I'm gonna put it, this map would have looked like a different scenario. And I know I'm biased because I'm a Georgia fan, but we could have possibly have seen the actual two best team in the country, and that is the Michigan Wolverines versus the Georgia Bulldogs. Given that Georgia would have still lost against Alabama, they would have been a number 7 seed, which they are slotted, right?
Hmm.
But two things. One, we would have seen an awesome playoff, most definitely. Okay. The second thing is the argument, and people say, well, now that we don't have to focus on the top four and argue about who should have been the top four, like Florida State, or years ago when UCF was not voted in, right? Because they
Yeah.
finished undefeated. Remember that?
Yeah.
Now there's no
Self-proclaimed.
excuse, right? But the only thing is that in this picture, you have 4 SEC teams and 3 Big Ten teams. People are going to be, how you say it, upset because they're taking over the college football playoffs. And people want to argue, well, in the Pac-12 there should have been more. And even though now this is the last year of the Pac-12, right? They're excluded right now, but a lot of people will argue where Arizona should be in there, right? So those are those type of arguments that they want numbers. They want their conference to have more numbers than any other conference, and that's going to be our future argument going into next season.
We couldn't get it. People wanted more when it was just the number 1 and 2, so we gave them 4. They gave them 4. Now we got 4, and it's still not enough. Now we're being given 12.
I think it's enough, though. I honestly do. I think this is it because
I agree. But as humans, we're never satisfied. We always want more, and we're getting more here, and this is a great thing. But you're right. Somebody's not going to still be satisfied come next year. Somebody's still going to be griping, and it's never going to be a never-ending story. Let's just leave it as it is. Let's have fun with this, because a lot of other teams, you want to knock down the SEC, then go out there and play tough and beat the SEC.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna make a strong prediction. They're saying that Georgia's favorite to win it next year. I want to hold that because I have a gut feeling that Ole Miss will be the next team. I do believe that Ole Miss, and I know I'm always beating up on Lane Kiffin and everything else, that I don't trust him versus Alabama. But I got a feeling that Ole Miss next year will have the formula. Should Jackson Dart come back, should all these other players come back for one more season, they're going to take over and defeat Alabama next year. I really do. And then one more before we move on to the NFL real quick, because we got to talk about coaching pretty soon. And watch this. You ready? What a coincidence that Michigan played Alabama, and their center, for some odd reason, okay, for so many weeks that he's been under center, can't snap the ball right. What a coincidence that against Washington, that their right guard or right tackle couldn't avoid holding, or always found himself in a situation when Washington was driving, they had to halt that drive and take those yardage back. I'm just saying, I just a little suspect. I'm just saying, like, I got it. The narrative is Michigan was supposed to win the national championship this year. I'm just saying, all right? Things could have been a little bit different in this game. What a coincidence that individuals are responsible for the flow of the game. Not saying that there's some cheating involved. I'm not saying that people have money on this on the line. I'm just saying. I'm saying a lot of things with no evidence, but I saw it on TV. All right. But this is also what I'm seeing right now. Harbaugh finally got the win, did it for him. He got bonuses up to $3 million or so. Do you think he's still going to be with Michigan, or should he be coaching in the NFL?
I've been hearing a lot about that all day today, and it gave me a big headache. It doesn't really matter what our opinion is. The man is going to go where he wants to go and be successful. Everywhere he's gone, he's been successful so far.
You stole my thunder on that one. You're absolutely right. But check this out. You ready? No, there's more to it because we're going on a second down. And the news today was that Mike Vrabel, I'm saying it right?
Vrabel.
Mike
Vrabel, yes.
Right. He got fired today. Now I'm shocked because I understand people are saying like he was supposed to go to New England and stuff, like he should be the next man to take over that job. And I know as a player, he played for the New England Patriots and all. But if you look at it, Tennessee is in a verge of rebuilding again because you have players in that team that are aging, and it's time to make those changes. And listen, I know that Tennessee fell in last place in that division, the AFC South, but they finished at 6-11 respectively, especially dealing with a lot of injuries. They got their star quarterback that is going to make a difference. Okay. But if you look at it, yeah, he started out 9-7. He was impressive in year 2020 and 2021. Came close, all right, to the divisional round. I mean, look, 3 times in the playoffs, he lost 3. It's okay, but it was all right for Tennessee. I didn't see anything bad. I mean, the players played. They didn't fall on their backs. Every game was competitive. You know what I mean? And it's just mind-boggling. It was like, look, you had only 2, back-to-back losing records, but there was still a lot of positive going on for next season.
Yeah, the first losing record, he finished second in the division. Go figure.
Wasn't that because of Jacksonville sneaked in right to win? Yeah, that was, that was rough. That was rough.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm just saying, yeah, they finished a little bit worse, but I still believe that Tennessee, they have a great head coach. And it just sucks that in this business, the coaches don't have longevity. And if you look at the first 4 years, he was doing awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree, but I think it starts with the ownership.
Right.
When you're talking about longevity, I think it starts with the ownership. Look at the Rooney family and how many head coaches have they had in the last 3 decades? Okay,
3?
Only 4. 4.
Oh, 4. I was close.
So,
right, Bill Cowher was there long, and Mike Time's been there for
17 years right now. Yeah, right. 17 years without a losing record. Decades. So it goes to show that if you have the right ownership doing the right thing, leading their head coaches in the right direction, or their general managers, whatever the case is, you're gonna find success. And obviously, you only got a handful of teams that I can actually say that. I mean, Robert Kraft, New England Patriots, he's had Bill Belichick there for a very long time, and they found success. And they groomed a young Tom Brady, who they got in the 6th round, and they wind up winning 6 Super Bowls. So
that's awesome. It really is. And and as an assistant, he has more rings, Bill Belichick. So and he has a lot of Super Bowl appearances.
Yes.
And that's very hard to do. Very hard. So I'm saying like this, like if I was Mike Rabel, I may not want to be in the AFC. Maybe I'll go and coach in the NFC. You know what I mean? But I know I put down the Patriots because, of course, there's rumors that he might head over there. But the Panthers and the Falcons need a head coach. I probably stay away from the Panthers. I'll go more to the Falcons. I will actually, you know what? He'll be a best fit for the Falcons. He is an old school guy. They love to run the ball. Oh, guess what? There's a lot of talent over there in Atlanta with the run game. He just need a quarterback that will not turn over the ball, like Mike Tannehill, right?
No, yeah.
So, that's what I'm saying. Until Tannehill was all right for that particular time, but I think he was in that team too long for them. They could have drafted another quarterback, and that's another thing is that the media will love to make a lot of noise because they drafted someone in the 1st round. They want to hurry up and have them start. Not everybody could be a CJ Stroud.
Oh, no, you're not going to get that.
No. All right, it is time for our predictions going to the wild card games. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is difficult because it is a wild card weekend. All right, wild card doesn't necessarily mean it's a guaranteed win. And we might all be surprised on who wins this weekend. But it comes to no surprise that Hector Vasquez finished ahead of me by 6 games. Excuse me. I mean, I'm used to it. I came close. It's all right. But Hector finished with 177 wins. I had 171 wins. But what's fascinating is that I had a better record on the road than Hector did, overall. So I'm like, damn, I got 75. Wow. That's pretty unique.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You was the road dog this year, and I was the homebody pretty much.
Road dog. All right. I like that. You better call somebody. And I got that. If those you don't know, the WWE road dog, but for head to head 35 and 29, I accept that. I accept that little touchdown score right there. That's cool. You know what I mean? But there's always next year. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, we have our own Bowl Mania challenge ourselves
Hmm.
as we getting ready. And those of you that haven't, go ahead, tune into the website at CMG Sports Central and sign up for the Bowl Mania bracket challenge. Yes, absolutely. But we're gonna start off with the Browns and the Texans. Man, my screen's a little bit oh, anyways, we can still see that. It's
Yeah,
cool.
I
Yeah,
can.
yeah, absolutely. Browns and the Texans. I have me scratching my head because this game could go either or. The Browns, I'm not even gonna count the last game because they rested all their starters. But prior to that, they've won their last 4 games. The Jets, Houston, they did beat Houston 36-22.
Yeah.
However, they did it without CJ Stroud. Could have been a difference if CJ Stroud was the quarterback. All right. On the other side, the
Mhm.
Texans, they won 3 of the last 5 games. Um, Man, they played their butts off on that last game against Indianapolis just to win the AFC South. It was worth watching and everything else, but is that enough against the Cleveland Browns?
That's going to be the interesting question there because you're right. The Browns, they just torched the passing defense for the Houston Texans in that last game. It was, to me, it wasn't even close. I mean, the score doesn't even do any justice. This game was out of control when they last played each other. And here we are again going back to Houston for round 2 between these two teams, you know. And
Right.
now that DJ Stroud is actually playing, now can we see him try to exploit that Browns defense, which is top 5 in every category in the NFL? And it's
Right.
crazy to say that the Browns do have the number 1 overall defense in the league with a record of 11-6, but they're 3-5 on the road, and that's what kind of worries me going
Mm.
into this matchup again. You know, it is.
I definitely, I got you, but can I mean Houston got a good defense. They're 63 at home, but man, uh, during halftime they were down 22-7, and I don't know what happened in the fourth quarter that Houston woke up. They outscored, in just the fourth quarter alone. Houston outscored Cleveland, but it wasn't enough because they
Right.
still lost by 14 points. Excuse me. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna pick the road team since I'm the road dog. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Browns to beat the Texans.
Yeah, this game right here was very, very difficult to me to pick because of the fact that we're going to see a different Houston team here with CJ Stroud in here. But I don't see Houston's defense, passing defense, stopping Flacco for a second time. They couldn't stop him the first time. I don't see how they would do it. They can probably stop the run game.
Mhm.
Houston can. So I see Flacco getting at it once again, but this time he's going to have a shootout, and I think this game is going to be a much closer score than it was last time. But I am picking the Browns to upset the Houston Texans at home for a second time. It's hard to
You
see
pick.
that happening, but I'm picking the Cleveland Browns.
Oh,
I
okay.
know.
I mean, I know it's rough, but Amari Cooper had a franchise record of 265 yards in that game.
I'm not going to worry about him this
Can
second
they
time around.
can they slow him down? That
I
is the
think they'll slow
question.
him. I think it's going to be somebody else that's going to be the problem, but not him.
Hmm. All right. Moving on to the 8 o'clock game. And again, that's a Saturday game. On Saturday night, it's
Mhm.
on Peacock, and it's the Dolphins versus the Chiefs. Now, it left a bad taste in my mouth with the Dolphins because one to deal with injuries, but the way they played against the Bills, there's just no way that I could see the Dolphins getting by the Chiefs in Kansas City. And then watch this. Here's the narrative. Hill is going back to the team that helped win the Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs, right? He left that team to go with the Dolphins, and he's going to go to Kansas City. he's gonna wish that he had stayed in Kansas City. I know I left you speechless, man. I really do. All right. I think I lost him for a second. Hopefully he'll come back. I got Roberto Chavez says Miami. Now you got to give me more than just Miami. What does that mean that you're going for Miami? Okay. Because if you're looking at this, okay, and again, yeah, he'll come back. If you're looking at this real quick, right? Um, Look, the Dolphins been struggling against teams that were competitive for the playoffs, and they continue to do that. Look, they lost to Buffalo, they lost to Baltimore 56-19. They lose to Tennessee by 1 point. I mean, yeah, they took care of business against Dallas, right? But you play against teams like the Jets, yeah, you're supposed to win them. But when you're playing against teams that are supposed to be competitive, they haven't shown up yet. All right. So I can't help you there. So, and I think that Hector himself would definitely have picked the Chiefs, and I'm picking them unanimously. I just don't see how Miami could pull away, especially that Super Bowl defense. All right, don't forget the defensive coordinator he's been a Super Bowl champ for the New York Giants during his time there, Spagnolia, and then now with the Kansas City. Now, Roberto, come on, man. You said pull an upset. Where's there an upset when you get into Tua's face? That dude be throwing the ball with his eyes closed. Come on now. You know better than that. Don't say no. Don't say no. I'm just saying. For those of you, he says they're gonna pull an upset. They gotta be more than just an upset. Okay. We gotta be having a lot of injuries on the Chiefs side of the house for Miami to actually win. But let's move on here with the Sunday game. The first game is at 1 o'clock on CBS. The Steelers versus the Bills. Now, listen, the Steelers, they got in because they had help. And they took care of business when they had to. They beat Baltimore, but Baltimore had their second string on, and they won 17-10. Could have been a big difference if the Baltimore Ravens had all their starters. Would the Steelers have won that game? Okay, yes, the Steelers won the last 3 games of the season, but let's look at the Bills. They're hot. They've won their last 5 games. They beat Kansas City. They took care of Dallas, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Dolphins. Okay, when it mattered most, they went ahead and defeated the Dolphins to win the AFC East for 4 straight years. Absolutely. Okay, now, I don't know what it is about Roberto Chavez who is making these comments. Okay, the Steelers for the knockout. Bro, this is at Buffalo. We're talking about at Buffalo. Red hot Bills. Come on, man. It's like you picking the opposite teams that I'm picking. Are you kidding me? Man, I'll tell you. He says, I don't believe in Allen like that. Well, you got to believe in Allen when you're in Buffalo. Absolutely. Okay. And Hector, I'm going to tell you right now, who you got in this game, Steelers or the Bills?
I got Buffalo.
So your boy Roberto, man, he's been playing opposites attract or something like that. I don't know. Maybe he's tuning into Paulo Abdul and the 80s music over there. But he's saying that the Steelers are going to steal the show here, man. I'm like, how? When that offense can't really produce anything, you don't have TJ Watt that's not going to be playing in that defense, who is the main masterpiece for that D. Okay. I just don't see it. I think the Bills will pull it off, and they're going to win at home, as they should have, as they should.
I think they will. I mean, they got the home crowd. It's going to be. You got to take the weather into consideration. I mean, I believe it's going to be sub-zero weather that day. Okay.
I mean, Steelers could play that weather too.
I get it, but
I
think what's going to take the factor is as far as throwing the ball and how we're going to be running the ball and things like that, how things are going to play out that way.
We're supposed to be snowing. It'll be 24 degrees with snow, and Buffalo's favorite 10 points. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it too.
I take it. All right. Let's move on to the Packers and the Cowboys. Now, this is a big one. And I know the Cowboy fans are now coming out the closet. Okay. They're putting their gear on. They're celebrating as NFC East champs. I'll say slow down. Okay. Slow down. And I got to look this up real quick because
Well,
I have to tell you, I got to give you more background as
well,
to what's up with the Dallas Cowboys.
well.
Okay.
While you do that, the Cowboy fans are still reliving this game as far as Dez caught it. We're reliving that now again.
Are you serious?
We are reliving that all over again. It's resurfacing.
I'm glad I'm here in the state of Connecticut, not listen to that garbage over there. Okay. The last 2 seasons, the Cowboys lost a wild card in 2021. They lost the division in 2022. Okay. Mike McCarthy is on his 4th year as a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, matching that record last year, 12-5. I'm gonna tell you this: they're undefeated at home. I'll give them that much just because they're undefeated at home. But I do not see the Cowboys doing anything else but to take care of business of the Packers, which is minus Aaron Rodgers. And that's not, and I'm gonna tell you right now, okay. Packers are good. I won't sleep on the Packers, but the Packers, for some odd reason, that offense, it just doesn't jive all the time. It's like, they have one good quarter, and then after that, they just disappear. Okay. And it just like 3-and-outs back and forth, little small drives, and that's it. Yeah, you got the Cowboys got a lot of weapons, but they don't utilize those weapons properly. And that's why they don't just get they're just gonna just get by the Packers. I don't even see a blowout.
Yeah, no, I see them. I see the Cowboys winning this game, but look, the Packers, you know, this is the first year Jordan Love is at the helms, and he's taking his team to the playoffs. Okay, and this team is stacked, is loaded with young talent. Okay, and that could be a little disruptive at times for the Cowboys in this game.
Mhm.
Okay, but and not to look, since Cowboy fans like to talk about history, I'm going to throw a little bit of history out there. The Packers have the most wild card victories all time over every NFL team there is. Okay, so this is another wild card game for the Packers. We are reliving a matchup here that's been ages between these two teams. So just
Oh, they
pump the
got a lot
brakes.
of history.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm picking the Cowboys, but pump the brakes. Don't think that you're going to walk away with this game in the bag. It's going to be a tough one.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's going to be a tough fight. Because the Packers are looking to be that first team to beat the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium this year.
Well, let me tell you this. LaFleur has never lost a wild card game. He is 3-0 in the wild card. How about that?
I'm just concerned, can the Packers defense, shut down the Cowboys? Because the Cowboys are averaging over 37 points per game
Mhm.
at home this year. They're doing that to everybody. So can the Packers shut that down to make this somewhat of a competitive game? So that's going to be
McCarthy is 1-1 in the wild card with the Cowboys.
that's why, this is going to be a good game. I think, the Cowboys seem to always be just that team that just like you want to believe in, but then they disappoint you. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Roberto Chavez.
but I am rolling with the Cowboys in this game.
I'm not. I'm on the sideline watching the Cowboys win. I won't ride with them. Hell no. All right, the main event. I'm gonna say this: the main event of the whole entire weekend has got to be this. You got to talk about it. This is a lot of drama. This is a big soap opera. This is everything that you need to have here. The Los Angeles Rams and the Detroit Lions a couple of years ago made a trade. They traded quarterbacks. Goff wasn't good enough. Goff wasn't good enough to maintain himself with the Rams when the Rams lost the Super Bowl. That was it. They got Matthew Stafford, all hands on deck. During that time, during that season, they got Odell Beckham. They did everything that they had to do to win the Super Bowl, and they did. However, The Detroit Lions, they got a lot of history. A lot of talent that did nothing, like Barry Sanders, who knew that the team was going to be garbage for the rest of the, I don't know how long. And he was like, you know what? I'm bored. I quit. I'm retiring. I don't care about the breaking the singles season record, let alone the career rushing record. That's why Emmitt Smith has it. If not, like I'm still telling you, Barry Sanders is better than Emmitt Smith. There was a time where the Lions went 0-16. That was bad, very bad. But this team has won the NFC North. The Lions. And yeah, you could say Gulf chokes and everything else, but you know what? He got enough support that he doesn't have to do this alone. Lions do have defense. Not as great as, we could say with the Ravens or the 49ers, but the Lions, they're just that good enough. They're not 12-5 by mistake. They played those games and they played hard. Okay? Yeah, and they're from Michigan. How about that? Okay? We just talked about them. Yeah. So if you think that the Rams are going to go to Detroit and show off, I got something for you. This is a great story that we could make a movie out of. And that movie is going to star Goff when he meets his former team, the team that they traded him away because he wasn't good enough. And he's going to show them how he persevered. And with good resilience, the Lions are going to go home and show the Rams that they are for real. I'm taking the Lions over the Rams.
Yeah, I got the Lions too. Look, they ranked the top 5 in offense this year as a team, and you think about the offensive weapons that the Lions have here, that Goff has, with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, and then the wideout Amon-Ra St. Brown's. He's got weapons. I'm not taking nothing away from Stafford. Look, Stafford already beat Goff in a Rams uniform back in 2021. So this is going to be the second time that they're going to face each other in opposite uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But this time is going to be a whole different story. Look, the Rams are hot. They could be a dangerous team going into this playoff. If they go out there and beat Detroit, watch out. They could be the threat that we could be talking about next week. But I think the Lions are for real. They did not go out there and just win a division for no reason. They're looking for something bigger and better, and they're trying to get to that Super Bowl. But one game at a time, but I think they get the job done at home. They're going to have the crowd pumping. I don't think you're going to contain the crowd noise there in Detroit. Okay?
That's another thing. And it's in the dome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I won't be surprised you see a lot of Michigan Wolverine uniforms mixed in with Detroit Lion uniforms all over the place. So, yeah,
absolutely. And you know what sucks is because they had an opportunity, and it sucks because the Lions could have had the number 1 seed in this playoffs if it wasn't for the referees to make that oopsie call in Dallas. Okay. And that sucks because should the Lions and the Cowboys do win, the Lions have to go to the Cowboys and have a rematch again. Exactly. And, Lions did deserve it. They could have had 13 wins, and then those referees killed it.
Yeah,
that was a big difference maker.
Yeah, but just like I say with the Dez catch, shoulda, woulda, coulda, it didn't happen. Oh, well, move on.
Well, that's different. So that's a referee, man.
Come on,
but Cowboy referees should never dictate a game like that, and that's why they are not involved in the playoffs this year.
No, but instead of letting the referees dictate, you should be able to change things up when you see things are not going your way because the referees are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Keep going to the same play over and over and over. You're not succeeding. Just try something different. Play for another down. The Lions could have done that. They didn't. Oh, well, that's their fault. I was rooting for the Lions. They lost. Oh, well.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, here we go. The Eagles versus the Bucks. This is the last game of the wild card weekend. And to be honest with you, this has been the hardest pick for me because I'm tossing and turning. I don't know what to expect. Tom Brady's not playing. If Tom Brady was the quarterback, I would like go Bucks. I would have.
Yeah.
But then you look at the other side, Eagles. The Eagles are not flying. They are not flying. Where do we go from here?
I mean, but the Buccaneers, their ship is not sailing. They can't even get out the dock. They can't lift the anchor. So yeah, where
So
do we go from
they
here?
can't do it. The Eagles can't fly. What's going on?
Yeah, something
Like,
got to
are
give.
we
This
gonna
game
have a
can't.
winner? We're
We
gonna have a
have to.
sudden death.
We could be up all night Monday into Tuesday morning playing this game for all we know.
No one's scoring. It'll be
Oh my
like the Minnesota Vikings and the Las Vegas Raiders, and the score ended 3-0. Was it
Well,
3-0 or 6-3?
yeah, whatever. Yeah, we'll have
Yeah.
more injuries than we have a score at the end of this game, probably. Look,
Mm-mm-mm.
I know the Bucks are going into this game on a little hot streak, and the Eagles are on one heck of a downslide. I mean, good lord, if it wasn't for the Giants, they would be on a 6-game losing streak going into this game. And this wasn't the same Eagle team we were talking about almost 2 months ago. But I'm going to tell you right now, I am going with the Eagles. I think they bounce back. They think they have just enough band-aids to put on from the first aid kit just to get them through this game against the Buccaneers.
I got the Eagles winning, and they're going to be heading to San Francisco for the divisional round. I
That's
picked
it.
that the Eagles will have at least 30-something points. The Bucks, they might average maybe less than 20, but I do got a feeling that the Eagles will take care of business to shut the media down, because I don't think they want that negative attention. But I still think that there's something wrong in the locker room in
Oh
the
yeah.
Eagles.
Oh yeah.
And we'll find about that in the off season. We
Oh
will
yeah.
definitely will. But you know what else hurts is that when you have an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator that you want to what's it called? Did they win the Super Bowl? No, they lost the Super
No,
Bowl.
that
I'm
last
sorry. They lost to Kansas City, right?
yes.
But to repeat, you would needed those coaches to still be there. But instead, those two coaches ended up taking head coaching jobs.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So now you got new leadership in the offense and defensive side, right? And the flow is not there anymore. And again, this is not like 2 weeks or something like that. This has been developing and developing. And if I'm not mistaken, here we go. The Eagles, they lost to the Jets. Do you
Yes, they
remember
did.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Ever since they beat the Bills, which the Bills should have won that game if the receiver or the quarterback were in the same network, right? The Eagles could have a longer losing streak. And ever since that, I mean, they've been on a downfall. I mean, look, they haven't even, I mean, they scored 30 something points, but their defense just fell apart. And I think it's more of the defense, if anything else. But at the same time, both sides of the ball, things are not clicking, and hopefully their problems are solved. But I'm not liking this game at all. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks pull it off. It'll probably be in a slim margin, but I'm still gonna go for the Eagles for the time being. But they'll be ousted in the next division.
Look, the Buccaneers to me are very streaky. Okay, the Buccaneers started off the season 3-1. Then after that bye week, they lost 6 of 7 games coming off the bye week, and then they want to decide to win 5 of the last 6 going, to end the season. They are just
Mhm.
inconsistent when it comes to playing football this year. The Eagles, they just literally went from being the top team, the defending NFC champs, to sliding down the hill without no protection. Seriously. So we don't know
Mhm.
what we're getting here. And to me, honestly, I think the loser, either way, I know the 49ers get the lowest seed remaining. And if things play out the way they do, it looks like one of these two teams are going to San Francisco.
Well,
And whatever.
the winner of this game is going to San Francisco. The way we picked it, the winner of this
Yeah.
game is going.
And,
Absolutely.
and what is going to be left for the 49ers to pick the bones with? But seriously, because these two teams are so wounded. And there I go, turning purple again.
Yeah, I think you're
It's just
trying to
that.
tell me you're going for the Ravens all the way to the Super Bowl. But we're gonna save that comment
Yeah.
for another day because Hector's screen went purple on me. I don't know if he's trying to tell me he's the member of the Judgment Day in WWE
Quote the
or what.
Ravens.
But it is what it is. Listen, I mean, this is a wild, wild, wild weekend that we're going to experience together. And again, those of you, please, by all means, visit our website, and I'll put it on here, is cmgsportscentral.com. Tune in there and go ahead and click on the logo of the ESPN bracket and join us for fun as we get set for our wild card weekend and the road to the Super Bowl. So, like I said, big ups and congrats to the Michigan Wolverines for winning the national championship. The final top 25 will be coming out this week. As a matter of fact, it's already at CMG Central. Just got to update that the Michigan won. Well, by that, I mean, listen, great games and everything else. It's sad because I can't talk about college football anymore until the season starts again. You know, I gotta pay attention to these transfer portals and see what makes sense around here. But I'm not gonna hold my breath. But I'm seeing if anyone could break Deion Sanders' record for the most portal going into one college. Can it happen?
If I could turn purple, anything can happen.
Oh hell. Oh man. All right. So, hey, there you have it. That's our picks for this weekend. And once again, you're listening to the All Four Downs podcast presented by CMG Central. Thank you for watching, everyone. Take care. Let's enjoy some football. And those of you living, especially in the East Coast where I'm at, man, be safe. I know the weather's getting nasty. And just tune into your weather alerts and tune into the weather alerts for those games, because that also could be a big difference maker on your picks. Thank you for watching. Take care, everyone.